Well, over the last year, President Trump has amped up his criticism on the Federal Reserve with his favorite megaphone. That, of course, is his Twitter account. His public berating of the central bank began only 2 months after Jay Powell became Fed chairman. It's only escalated since then. We should note Trump nominated Powell to be the Fed chair. Brian Cheung, our Fed correspondent here at Yahoo Finance, has kind of put this all in one place as we approach the day, Brian, that Jay Powell is going to do what Trump has long asked him to do, right, which is cut interest rates.
Yeah, and if he does do that, that would be the first time that we've had interest rate cuts in 10 years or so.
Yep.
But interesting because obviously Trump has taken to his Twitter account many times over the past year and a half or so to say, I need easier policy in the form of both stopping the balance sheet normalization, in fact, even maybe adding more assets to the balance sheet in quantitative easing, and also lowering interest rates by as much as 100 basis points. So I decided I wanted to go back into his Twitter account and just kind of archive the amount of times that he has referenced monetary policy. He's had 38 tweets. I had to update that to 39 tweets with his tweet this morning, where he said that the Federal Reserve, and this is a new one, the very heavy weight of the Federal Reserve anchor wrapped around our neck, other types of colorful language that he has used in the past. He said that and Myles, you'd appreciate this. He can't score because he has no touch. He can't putt, referring to the Fed.
That was the Christmas Eve?
That was December 24th. That was Christmas Eve.
It was right around there. Okay.
And actually, I ran some numbers too with some help from the Trump Twitter archive. It's a third-party archive of all of his tweets. The most popular tweet by retweets was a December 24th tweet. It was that putting tweet. And then, but by favorites, the most popular tweet was actually the one announcing that Herman Cain had backed out of his nomination for the Fed seat. So interesting there. 62% of his tweets were sent before 10 a.m. Kind of fun fact there.
Sure.
But actually,
executive time,
but more importantly, 31% of his tweets were sent during what they call the Fed blackout period. For those that aren't familiar, this is the 11-day period leading up to a Fed meeting every 6 weeks where Fed officials are not permitted to speak publicly. You could debate about whether or not this is unfair, right? I mean, the president can take to Twitter whenever he wants to say whatever. Federal Reserve officials wouldn't be able to respond. Now, on the other hand, Fed officials generally don't respond at all to Trump's commentary, but kind of interesting that he's kind of using his Twitter megaphone to take advantage of the narrative here.
If the Fed comes out next week and lowers rates, does that mean they also stop quantitative easing? Do both of those things have to happen
at
the same time?
There is a debate about that, and in the June 19 meeting, Chairman Powell was actually asked about that. He said that it's a possibility that the Fed could stop the unwind a little bit early.
They only have 3 months to go, though.
They only have, right. So they would actually finish at the end of September. So, I mean, it's basically a little over 2 months there. But, you know, they said that they could stop early if that were to be the case. Some other Fed officials have said that they're not so set on that. That would be a committee vote, probably.
So I will not be here next week, but you will be down in D.C. for the meeting.
Good timing.
Right. I know. I guess we should do final predictions here. I say they cut rates 25 basis points, but the market is upset because Powell doesn't signal 3 cuts this year.
Even though it's an 80+ % chance that they're going to get a 25 basis point cut?
No, I said they aren't going to cut. No, I think they're going to cut rates, but he's going to say that they're not going to do it 3 times. Right? He's going to pare back the future. What do you think happens?
I say they go 50 basis points. He goes on the conference call and signals another 50 basis points is coming. Open those floodgates.
No
Stock market's going to rip higher. Beyond meat, it's going to double.
Dow 30,000.
Retail guy over here.
There we go. What do you got?
25 basis point cut. They stop the balance sheet normalization process. And they say that the data will determine where the next steps are.
See, the thing for me with the QT is like they spent so much time in the Yellen Fed signaling that that was not part of policy, active part of policy. To undo that
at the time, it was easy to say that. At the time, it was easy to say that because the specifics weren't out there.
They've already taken all these opportunities to not change QT. I don't know why they would do that with 6 weeks in the program.
Both of you Fed guys are very measured. Okay?
Anyway,
I'm looking 50 basis points.
All right.